Hi, in this series we're going to go over 3-5-1 triads on the bottom. That is the lowest strings, the E, the A, and the D strings, which are these strings on this side in case nobody saw what I was doing there. Please refer to your PDF diagrams for further clarification in these videos. It's good to kind of keep them in a window open next to this video, and that way I can point to them and say that's the chord that we're doing or whatever. Actually, I won't be able to do that, but maybe they'll come out with some new technology in the future where I'll be able to see you and you see me. Actually, it's already out. I just can't afford it, but who knows what the future holds. At any rate, getting back, we're going to do G major. That's the key we're going to be working with. G major 3-5-1 triads. We're going to do 4 different versions. The first version is major. The second version is going to be minor. The third version is diminished. And by default, always the fourth version is going to be the augmented. And so let's go ahead and get started. We'll see you in the first triad. This first triad is G major, 3-5-1, and a real easy way to find a 3-5-1 chord is to do this. Especially if you're on the bottom strings here, is to essentially make a power chord, which is a G under your index finger, and your ring finger up here on the 5th fret, and then your pinky finger up on the 5th fret, right up underneath your index, or I'm sorry, your ring. So right here, under your ring finger, then your ring finger, and then your index is over here. So you've got 1, 5, and then 1. So you've got 2 1s on either side of a 5 that's in the middle. So it's like a 5 sandwich. So what you do is you keep the 5 and the 1 here, and you just take the 1 that's over here, the low one, and you walk it up 2 whole steps, because we know that the 3 is 2 whole steps away from the 1. So we just take this note, walk it up 2 whole steps, and retain these 2 notes up here with your index finger, and put your ring finger then over here. If you need to blow this video up, you can hit full screen, right click with your mouse, click full screen, blow it up, and you can see my hand a little better. So there it is. There's the B on the bottom, 3, 5, and then 1. So there you go. G 3-5-1 major 1-3-5. Sorry if I confused you on that. We'll see you in the next triad. This next triad is a 3-5-1. It is a minor 3-5-1 G. So that means we have to take whatever we had on the bottom, which was a B, of course, down here. So this is our B, and we just need to flat it from the 7th fret down to the 6th fret. So that's all we need to do. So we're going to retain these 2 notes. We're going to keep these where they are, and we're just going to flat that B down to a B flat. And there we go. That's a G minor with a B on the bottom, B flat on the bottom. Same as G minor down there in the bass position. So fundamentally speaking, if you move this chord up or down in either direction, it will relatively create a first inversion triad that is relative to the root triad. That is 1-3-5. So we'll see you in the next triad. Thanks for watching. This next triad is a diminished triad, 3-5-1. That means flat 3, flat 5. Remember, anytime you take the 5 and you move it in either direction, it creates dissonance and disharmony and tension. And so let's go ahead and go to our bass position, which is our major position. This is where everything's in its natural slot. Our 3 is on the bottom, our 5 is here, and then our 1's on top of the 5. Now we know what we got to do. We got to flat the 3, which is the bottom note. So we're going to take this that's under our ring finger. We're going to move it down from the 7th fret down to the 6th. And when we do that, it's probably a good idea to just go ahead and sub in our middle finger. And then we're also going to take our 5 and flat that as well. So we're going to have to rearrange things a little bit. Please refer to your PDF download, supplemental download that goes alongside this video for further clarification on where to put your fingers. And here is our G351 diminished. And the diminished chord is kind of a funny chord. Every note in a diminished chord can sub in as tonic. When I mean sub in, that's exactly what I'm talking about. You can take the 1 and you can just make it whatever you want. You can do that really with any chord, but the diminished chord has a symmetrical interval value, which means that if you take a triad and you move it up 3 frets or down 3 frets, the same notes will be repeated. It's just in a different order. They're arranged in a different order, but basically provide the same type of tension that the previous one did. So that is your G diminished 3-5-1 triad. That will be flat 3, flat 5, and 1. And we'll see you in the next triad. This last triad is a 3-5-1 augmented triad. That's 1, 3, sharp 5 is the formula for this triad. The 1 and the 3 are a major interval, and then the distance from the 3 to the 5 is another major third, or sharp 5, excuse me, is another major third. So we've got 2 major thirds stacked on top of each other, as to where a diminished chord is 2 minor thirds stacked on top of each other. So it's pretty safe to say that the diminished chord is cousins of the minor family, and augmented are cousins of the major family. So let's go ahead and start on the in our bass position, which is our major position. Everything's in its natural position. We've got our 3 on the bottom, we've got our 5, and then the 1's on top of the 5. We're going to just sharp the 5. So let's go ahead and sharp it. So 3, 5, and then 1. There we go. And then go ahead and flat it. Back down to its natural 5 position, sharp, and flat it back down to resolve. And fundamentally speaking, if you move that chord up or down in any direction, it will form a relative, it'll be relative to essentially whatever's around it, and you can pretty much figure out what I'm talking about when I say that by this time if you're watching Triads and you know something about guitar. Thanks a lot for watching. This is Stu Johnson, Second Floor Studios, and we'll see you at lessons. Thanks again. Take care.